Oh, me water. Yeah, get in quick. Get in.
Really?
Oh, get it.
Good.
Don't it look like Louis Vuitton though? Wait, it look like the dark.
Yeah, it does. That's quite pang.
Isn't it?
Liverpool's kit's banger. What's that, training kit?
It's just like the.
Yeah, it looks quite nice, that.
Boom, boom, boom.
So welcome back to the No
We're in.
Podcast.
And we're locked in again.
This is episode 8 now.
8.
Of series 2. So thank you to anyone that's already listened to episode 7, which is obviously where we announced the giveaway winner. So I've spoken to Ollie. He couldn't believe it. He was very, very happy. I didn't really want to give it away to him, so I kind of just dropped the link into a group chat with him in there. I was like, "Oh, boys, just give us a listen, see if you've won." And then one of the boys, we've had a few messages of people saying it's rigged. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck Ollie. I've had all the abuse from the sad winners. But
yeah, people are always gonna say it was fucking.
Always
gonna say it was rigged and that.
So yeah, we've actually got our first batch of haters now.
Yeah.
So we did have.
My mum made it.
Yeah,
I made it.
So I can't remember what episode it was when I remember calling people out. Remember when I went outside? I think the hot weather got to my head, and I remember calling a couple of people out before.
Bro, we started this when it was warm.
It was so hot. But yes, we're documenting our life now, pretty much.
How long have we been doing this? 18 weeks.
Something like that, yeah. That's quite long.
Because we're on episode 18, I think, altogether. Yeah.
So yeah, making
18,
a solid
17,
dent
weeks.
into the numbers now.
Whoa.
But yeah, I spoke to Ollie. We've come up with a design. He wants some in solar supply, which I mentioned before, which is his little thing. So yeah, they'll be worked on and then sent out to him before Christmas. So sorry if you didn't win. Keep your eyes peeled, eyes peeled and your ears open. Because there'll definitely be more giveaways coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah, it is eyes peeled. What did you say for your ears?
It's got to be ears open, is it? It's got to be.
Eyes peeled and ears...
Alert. Ears peeled back.
Yeah, my eyes open and ears peeled.
Ears on fleek. If anyone knows what is the version of keeping the ears?
Ears what?
Ears to the ground. I know someone says that, but I don't know what that means. Why the fuck would you keep ears to the ground?
Eyes peeled. Oh, I fucking had a mate spelling that. Eyes peeled, ears.
We're already off Googling things from the off.
So it says eyes and ears peeled. To keep your ears peeled.
It is your ears peeled.
Ears peeled.
What the fuck? That's shit.
Mix it up, common phrase, keep your eyes peeled. So it's both?
It's both, eyes and ears peeled. So yeah, giveaways coming soon. I don't know if we should pick kind of like a place in the schedule where we should do give. Oh, you are having me on. Pause it 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's an absolute
butchered it. Camera's just fucking falling off. So yeah, as I was saying, giveaways will be coming. We don't know when. We'll kind of schedule them in. Maybe certain milestones for us. Maybe end of certain seasons or like when we should kind of like do giveaways.
Oh yeah.
I think
when people start listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when we gain some traction. So doing the giveaway did help. For how small we are and how much of a social media presence, it definitely helped.
Yeah.
Some numbers, not massive, but it is what it is. It's hard to grow organically. I'm not one of those people that feels like you have to plaster Facebook ads everywhere, even though it is very beneficial. But yeah,
we just like doing them.
We're just two men that are trying to make a little hustle. You get me? You get me?
So you don't have to work.
Literally.
This is the work.
This is work. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed. The last week's episode was definitely a little bit shorter. We kind of just wanted to centre it all the way around the giveaway. But yeah, this week we're back with a full episode.
Yeah, I assume. As much as we can say.
Yeah, so I already know the story, but Spud has something that's happened to him this week.
I got robbed.
Got robbed.
Cut the story short. Got robbed.
So
It
you
was
were working.
fucking shit. I've never been robbed before,
No.
and it was very upsetting to say the least. It's a bit of like you just feel completely useless.
Yeah.
Like
You just don't know
you,
where
you
to
can't
go.
do anything. The shit's gone. Like
So yeah, backstory is.
so. Yeah, we had a shoot in London,
Mm.
and we were filming in the BBC building in London, like the main one where they do like
Oh, is
you know,
that where
the
you
one
actually
show
were?
and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So we were in a hotel that was literally like a 2-minute walk. So the plan was to have obviously have the car under the hotel in
Yeah.
the car park.
What area was this? I actually forgot to ask
It was
you
like,
that.
well, it was
Like central.
yeah, like Regent's Park
Right,
it was,
okay.
which is the
Pretty.
touristy bit,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the smack bang middle. And yeah, so the plan was to have like take all the kit with us,
Yeah.
leave the bags and stuff in the car, because you know we'd have all the stuff with us regardless.
Yeah.
And then walk up to the BBC building and do the film, and then come back, obviously go home. And we'd finished all the filming and stuff, and we'd got back, and we're like, right, let's just get all the shit back in the car. So I went down under the hotel into the car park, and the car park is like ridiculously low. So it was like
What,
we
the
couldn't,
ceilings
yeah.
of it?
So we couldn't lift the boot up without like
Right,
pulling
okay.
it
Foot
out
it.
of the spot,
Yeah.
and then like you know into an open space.
Right. Okay.
And then we backed the car all the way up to the wall as well.
Yeah.
And then so I got in the car to drive away, and I've turned the engine on, and I was like, I heard the engine louder than usual,
I noticed.
and I'd got in and I'd
Yeah.
looked at the back, you know, there was nothing, I didn't
notice
see
it to
nothing,
start with.
and so so I'm pulling out now with the hotel. I'm just driving off. I'm just a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah, why
I
does
can
it
hear
sound
like
so
the exhaust
loud?
or something.
And I mean, you were
Like, what the fuck?
was
And I've
this when
looked
you had-
behind.
Did you have a hybrid at this point as well?
It was
you in
it's,
the
yeah. It's
hybrid?
like, no, I think his one, the
Was
one
it purely
his higher
fuel?
one was a fuel, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, it's fucking weird. So I pull out the hotel, and like, you know, when you got a shit ton of luggage, you pull outside the front of the hotel.
Yeah.
So I've pulled up outside, and I've gone to park. You know, we're all laughing and joking and stuff. And then he comes around the back of the car and pokes his head through the back window. He's like waving at me through the back of the car, like there's no back window.
I was,
And I like, and I've turned around. I've just gone, yeah, all my shit's gone. All my shit's gone. And then he's looked
Heartbreaking.
down because obviously he's in a boot, and he's like, yeah, fuck, all mine's gone as well. So it was like, it was just, and then I'm still trying to park, and I'm like, fuck, like, what?
Yeah,
Just what
where is
happens?
it? What, yeah.
So
What?
I've just had a fucking breakdown. Like, it
Mm.
was the only time I've taken my girlfriend's iPad with me
Literally.
anywhere.
I
It's the
know.
only time I've taken it anywhere, and it's gone. Like,
Yeah. So
my fucking favourite pair of trousers are gone.
yeah, that's heartbreaking.
Fucking
Heartbreaking.
North
so-
Face bag gone.
Yeah. Because what
Oh,
was it?
it's
Two
so
hold. So what was
wicked.
it? Your hold all, his hold all, and
Yeah,
some kit as
camera
well.
bag, 2 battery cases, like you know, you charge the batteries
Yeah.
in. There's fucking loads of shit
Sure.
gone. You know,
It's a solid grab, like.
just
So mad. Did it have a partial shop, or was it taken out because to put stuff in?
yeah, no,
Had
I've seen this.
everything.
That's what.
So they
So
actually fully opened the boot
yeah,
as well.
well, I have no
Don't-
idea because it was like
How would have you?
yeah, because you can't get behind the car because we parked it so far up against the wall.
Yeah.
And they smashed it so well that all the stuff around it, like I couldn't, when I looked behind to get out the car park, I didn't see any shattered glass like around the outside.
Yeah. It was
They've like fully gone around the outside, like
because they get the little like knives. In
it's just mad. Like I don't know if it was because it's shatter glass, you know,
Yeah.
to be safer. But yeah, they've just gone in and smashed it. There's loads of other cars in there, none of them were touched. And yeah, so the hotels come out and they're like, you know, fucking this happens pretty much on a regular basis.
Yeah, I know. And
Three
what did you
times
see?
every couple of weeks.
Yeah, 3 times every couple of weeks. Like,
So
I was
like,
like that's so specific. as
yeah,
well.
that's the thing. Like the amount of times we explain the whole situation to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, well, it sounds like that. It's obviously the same people just going back and doing it."
Yeah, that's the thing. It sounds very organised.
Because they just know they're not going to get caught. They've done it once,
Yeah.
didn't get caught. They're just going to keep going back.
Just keep targeting that place.
And then people are like, "Oh, well, it sounds a bit like an inside job as well." Because
Yeah.
someone from the hotel's like, "Oh yeah, we
well,
got
that's the thing. That
camera
was the
crew
first
here."
thing I asked you. I was like, "Oh, do they have CCTV?" And they were like, "No."
No CCTV. They got them like outside the front of the hotel, but
Yeah.
obviously the ramp to go down into the
No, it's
car
just fully
park
off.
is not nowhere
It's
near it.
mad. It's quite mad that
So you know someone's probably behind reception, like, yeah, fucking
you've
here we
got
are.
this.
Yeah, there's camera crew staying here. fucking the number plate is this. Go smash them up.
Literally, just go and have your chances against it.
And then like it's just the worst thing. So like nobody really knows what to do. We can't obviously drive home in the car.
No.
So production's ringing up Enterprise like this. You know, this has all happened. Fucking. You need to give us a car so we can go home.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a big car because we've still got a bunch of stuff left to take home. So, and obviously London to Cardiff at night, it's just like fucking piss take.
Yeah, it is.
So long, so tedious. And so then the idea was, production rang up and we're like, yeah, can you drop off a car? And like, no, there's only one of us in. And then they were like, you know, we got a car, whatever, available. And we were like, okay, we'll send somebody down to pick up the car and then go back to the hotel and then pick up the rest of the stuff and go home. So I got in a taxi then to go to Enterprise, which is like a 10-minute driveway, which is pretty short in London, to be fair, but that's about half a mile.
Yeah, I know, it's literally around the corner.
So it's like, so they're like, okay, so I got in a taxi and same thing, just talking to the taxi driver, telling him everything that's happened, whatever. And he drops me like in this underground bit under this park.
Yeah.
And it was like these big gates just like shutting off this from this really long tunnel, and he goes, yeah, you just go through there and you go down to the end of the tunnel and then like Enterprise on your right. So I got out, I'm like, oh, okay then, and I just want to go home at this point.
Yeah, you're just really stressed and pissed off.
The gate, these massive gates, you can't get in them. They're just like shutters, like you can't get them. So I'm ringing Enterprise, nobody's answering. I'm fucking ringing the like buzzer to see if anyone's there. So I can't fucking answer. So I'm on the phone to the missus of my parents, like, I just can't get in. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just want to fucking go home. This is shit.
So then you're thinking about smashing in there.
So I'm like,
rob this gaff now.
So I'm like, oh, maybe he meant like, because there was stairs to the right of the gate. So I'm like, maybe he meant go through there up the stairs and then like there's a crossing or something to go down again.
Yeah.
So like I go up the stairs and then I'm walking around this park and obviously on the other side of the park I see steps. I'm like, okay, maybe I can go down there. So I'm walking around this park, fucking livid, freezing. I'm like, what do I do here now?
Yeah.
I can't go down these now. So I got to the next set of steps. I'm like, well, I can't go down here. I've got to go back to the other ones. And then so I go back to the other ones, back to the shutters. And I'm like, well, I can't fucking do anything now. Like, I can't get in.
Just yo-yoing around.
And some guy comes out. There's like a little office space like next to it. Some guy comes out. I'm like, excuse me, how do I get in here? He's like, oh, if nobody's answering, when a car comes out, just run in the gates. So I'm waiting there for like 5 minutes. Like nobody's letting me in.
No.
Like there's no cars coming out. I'm like, I can't see the car park at the end of the tunnel because it like goes down and then up like that, so you can't see anything. And then, so I just keep ringing the little buzzer thing, and then some guy finally answers, and I'm like, how do I get in?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll buzz you in now.
Thanks.
Hangs
been
up.
Waiting the longest.
Yeah, fucking been waiting here, stressing. Fucking, I can't get in. Why is there an Enterprise in the most secure place in the world?
Yeah, well, he's a Batman.
And then fucking doesn't open the door. I'm fucking ragging it like, and he's hung up. So I got to ring back again. I'm like, yeah, you haven't opened the door.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, mate. I'll fucking
do it now.
I think I've got another way of opening it. So obviously it's just a button to open the gate.
Literally.
So he opens it. I get in and I'm walking down this thing, and then it opens up into this ridiculously wide car park. Just like, and I'm walking around in a pair of trackies, jacket. I'm fucking, my eyes are bloodshot because I'm just visibly upset. Like, what the fuck's going on? And then there's all like these old-fashioned like Rolls-Royce, Aston Martins, like Ferraris, just loads of these old-fashioned cars, like under blankets and Porsches and stuff. And it just seemed like a place where they store like maybe film cars and stuff for like
cars, like
like what's that? The Apprentice and stuff. They'll roll up and shit like that. And I'm just walking around all these cars, like where the fuck am I supposed to go? And Enterprise was in the very far corner,
just in the middle of nowhere, like.
So then I finally get there. I walk into Enterprise and I'm like, you should have a booking for my name or the guy I'm with's name. Yeah. And they're like, no, I don't think we've got one. I'm like,
no, you have now.
No, you do.
No, I'm booking it right now.
You fucking do. And then so there's and they had previously said there's one of them. There's at least 2 or 3 of them sat there. I'm like, well, obviously one of you knows because you've answered the phone. Literally. Like one of you has spoken to production to say. Out of the 3 of you. Yeah.
It's not like you've got a massive crew there.
So I'm in there and they're going through all this stuff and they're asking me like what the mileage of, because they couldn't give us a car until the one that was smashed into was taken away by AA. And that was not coming for like another hour or 2. And we were like, well, production have rang up and they said, just give us a car. They just want to go home, whatever.
And at this point, it's what time?
And they're trying to find all these policy bollocks, like, you know, can't do this, can't do that.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, just give us the car, it's fine. And then they start reading out a number plate. They're like, okay, fine, we can give you a car. And they're checking their system, taking fucking ages checking their system. And like, there's a row of cars just waiting out there.
Yeah, just give me one.
And they start reading the number plate, and it's for this tiny little Fiesta.
Yeah.
And we've still got a bunch of kit left. Like
Need to fit in.
So I stand up. I'm like, if you're gonna give us that Fiesta, like, is there anything bigger you can give us? Because all the shit's not gonna fit in there. And they were like, oh yeah, well these are all the cars we have available, but some of those like are not available. I'm like, well that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I can see those cars are here.
There.
Nobody's booked them.
No.
They're bigger. Just give us one of those. And they're like, oh, they're the premium cars. You know, we can't give out the premium cars unless you book. I'm like, okay, ring
whoever
production and say we only have premium cars left available,
and they'll happily fit it.
Just they'll pay for it. Just let them know that you gotta give us a premium one because it's not gonna fit in the car. And they were like, oh, sorry, can't do that. So I'm like, okay, fine, just give us the fucking Fiesta.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So he hands over the keys and he gives me a ticket to get out the car park. Like, he says, okay, this should get you out for free. So get in the car to drive away. I'm driving to the other end of this fucking the car park to get out. Fuel light comes on. So I'm like, fuck it, we'll just deal with it later, it's fine. Yeah. And then I put the ticket in for the barrier to let me out. It says, yeah, you got to pay 21 quid to get out. I'm like, well, what the fuck is this?
I've just picked it
so
up.
Slam it in reverse, just race back to fucking Enterprise down the other end.
I think it's London parking. I wouldn't even be surprised if those 20 minutes actually was 21 quid.
Fucking joke, like. So slam it back in, and slam the doors. I run back in. I'm like, listen, there's no petrol in the car, and you've given me a fucking card. I've got to pay 21 quid to get out. And then so the kid stands up and he's like,
giving you
and he's like slumping around like.
Mate, you don't know the half of my day already. Like.
And I'm like, well, when I first walked in there, he's like, you know, what's happened, all this stuff. I tell him, and there's no like, it's like customer service.
Like. Yeah, it
if
is.
someone's like distressed or something, you're like, okay, you know, we'll sort stuff out for you, whatever. Like, just tell me how it is. They're just like, it's fucking moody bastards rolling around and that. And then he gives me, he's like, okay, this one should get you out for free. And I don't know what to do about the petrol, sorry. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. It's fine. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just get me out of here. Yeah. So I'm driving up, finally get out, get all the shit in the car. We just fuck off. And then the AA were obviously supposed to come pick the car up. And we were supposed to wait there until 20 to 10. They gave us the time to fucking...
it's PM now, isn't it, obviously?
Yeah, at PM, yeah. And then we finally get home, unload the kit, go to bed, wake up to a notification at 8:45 saying, all right, we're on our way to... come pick up the car.
Shit. So
it was like 12 hours. So we would have been sat in the lobby for 12 hours waiting for him before we could get a car home.
That would have been peak.
And on the way home, the fucking M4 was closed.
Yeah, that's it.
So we had to drive through Reading on the way home.
There's always just seems to be, so you're back working. And then it's been,
back working, my shit's gone.
2 weeks.
I need the money to pay for all the shit I got back.
Literally, it's just been 2 weeks now already hitting a bloody hurdle.
That's been 4 weeks now on this.
Is it? So bring back furlough.
Innit? Jesus.
But yeah.
Just want this fucking, so I don't have to go anywhere.
Literally.
Don't have to take anything important anywhere.
So, insurance claims obviously being submitted now, so hopefully things will get sorted. It's frustrating though. It always seems to be hire cars always seem to be good until you need their help, and they always just seem to be bellends. Like I remember we hired a car right in Croatia, and we had it for like 4 days whilst we were there. And I was like, right, sound. So we put the cash aside, just like in the bag or in the suitcase, whatever. And we were like, right, just don't touch this, because at the end, at the airport, we're just gonna have to pay. And I got back to the airport, and I pulled up. I think it was with Sixth. Yeah. And I pulled up, and I was like, all right, we're gonna drop this off, because I'm gonna get on the plane. And so I went to give her the cash. She went, sorry, we only accept card. I was like, you are having me on. I'd literally put like it wasn't mad amounts. It was something like 250 quid though, but like
Yeah.
obviously in like Croatian whatever it was, like
Kuno, innit?
Kuna, yeah.
Mad.
So I put that in the bag, and then we got on into the airport, and I was like, I've just got £250 worth.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? So I was just rushing around the airport then, just looking for anything to buy. Like, I was like, you little pricks. Like, I was like, why didn't you tell me that? I was like, so annoying.
I hate it.
And I've never understood, like, the deposit you have to, like a holding fee that you have to put on your card. It's always something stupid. It's like £400-500 every time you want to hire it.
It's like when something goes wrong, everything is wrong. Everything goes wrong.
Literally. Oh yeah.
Like when something big goes wrong and you just want to get home and fucking fix, or just
chill, just be done with the day, like.
Just get over it, or relax or whatever. It's like everything is stopping you from getting home.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think that's always like something like related as well to like mental health and stuff like that. You never really know what's going on in someone's day, like until like you actually either ask or whatever. So I think that's where it's kind of important just to try and listen to people and just kind of be like a helping hand sometimes, isn't it? Because like if that guy was more helpful to you, it would have made your day a little bit easier. Try to find a solution faster. So
if he showed me at least a sign of him being like, okay, listen, we're trying to sort it out. There's none of that. No. It was, no, I can't
you're making my life hard.
Yeah, can't do that. Sorry.
And it's kind of one of those things, isn't it? Like I've always been a believer of like if you're having any like personal issues, to leave that at the door before you go into work.
Yeah.
Like don't take your personal life, or try your best not to like bring your personal life and your issues into work. Because it's not your fault. It's not your fault you fucking got robbed.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's fucking shit.
It's out of your control.
The whole situation is so shit. But like, whoever's taken that shit is like dashed everything. There's so much more expensive stuff than that iPad in there.
Oh yeah.
But he would have dashed everything all in the bin.
And
gone,
just taken the iPad.
And just taken the iPad.
Yeah.
Wiped it as soon as he could, so we couldn't fucking find it anywhere.
Literally.
I mean that's the safe bet. Is like.
I think it's like the most scumbag thing you can do. Like stealing, I fucking hate it. Like any form of just like taking something because you haven't got it for yourself. I've never ever like been interested or just been a fan of it. Like I hate anything like fraud based or just like anything like that. I just think it's such a scummy way to make a living. Like I do understand some people obviously can't get the opportunities that some people can and whatever. But I think it's just like the dirtiest, like lowest of ways to make money. Like just get on your little grind, innit? It doesn't even have to be anything like major. Just get your own fucking money. Do you know what I mean? Just don't go and steal something because they're a bit more fortunate. But I don't know. Sad times. But yeah, we move, innit?
Yeah. So, well, that's the thing. Like, like what else can you do?
Just literally back against the wall.
You just gotta fucking just keep going. Like, I'm gonna work hard enough that things are gonna come my way eventually. So,
literally,
things can be replaced, but it's just the initial like, fuck, I've been robbed. Like, what the fuck?
It can.
It's so shit.
I was thinking this the other day. I was like, I don't know if I read it or if I was just thinking of it when I was driving. Like, you know the saying when it's like, what would you rather be, like happy in a Corsa, like, or sad in a Ferrari? And I've thought about it the other day because I haven't seen it for a few years, and I was thinking, what would I actually rather?
Oh mate, I'd be fucking happy in the Corsa.
Yeah.
If I'm happy in that Corsa, I know all the mans are in the Corsas. We're driving around the roundabout like 5 million times. Everyone's in the car going, like living it up. Literally. And then you see a man in a Ferrari fucking bobble hat on because he wants to put the roof down.
I know.
And he's freezing. Nah.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking, am I ever going to be like one of those people that just has to be purely like materialistic? Yeah. And I hope I never be that person.
Well, I always say like, before sort of I could get much of a career in this industry, and I you know struggling just to get my foot in the door, I was like, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm happier to do this stuff for less money than I would to do something that I hate for more money.
Yeah, no, it is important. And I think that's where sometimes like, I'm always kind of in two minds about like free work. Like I think
Yeah.
I think it generally is so beneficial, especially if you're trying to move into like certain like I don't really know what to call like fields of work.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I do also feel like people should be valued for their time and like their
So
even if they're not the most trained for it kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like I feel like you should always, as a company or just as an individual, expect to be paid
yeah.
if you're giving up your time.
So there's a big issue with that in obviously in a lot of industries, but like obviously there's a big
100%.
issue in like TV and film
Yeah,
because people are so eager to get their foot in the door. They're like, I'll do it for free, it's fine.
yeah,
But at the like there should be a bracket on what you do for free. So
yeah,
I'd understand like if somebody was really interested in camera work and was like, oh, can I come and watch what you do for
yeah.
a day?
Then that's
Like,
fine. Like,
yeah,
view
but
it,
then if you get told
to man the
to
cameras
start
or
doing
to run
shit.
yeah, 100%.
it's like, no, I was here for free. If I'm gonna do that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
you should be paying me.
Yeah, I do like. I think it relates a lot to like freelance world anyway. Like
Yeah.
anything freelance, I feel like you can get a lot of opportunities where you can have like free exposure. I guess they call it, and
Yeah,
but at the same time, I do think if you're providing some form of service, regardless of what you're doing, as a company, I think if I was a CEO of a company and I had this person that I thought he's here for 8 hours, say, or
Yeah.
a couple of hours even, and I'm not paying him a single penny, I don't even think that. I think that would sit just like weirdly on my conscience. But
it's
don't
but
know.
and again with freelance, like a lot of freelance things, people complain about fucking hell that person's expensive.
yeah,
But it's like, no. The thing is, like, first of all, that guy's a professional.
yeah,
Like, he's been doing it for X amount of years. So you're
Literally.
paying him for his experience.
yeah,
He has all his own equipment. So you're paying for him to bring the
Of course.
equipment.
yeah,
He's cheaper than if you were to hire somebody out, pay them
yeah.
salary and stuff.
Literally.
Like, it's, yeah. So
No,
it's like,
that is one thing I always used to see. It was like, yeah, but you're expecting me to do it for X amount. It's like if your budget say £100, but I'm
Yeah.
asking for 1,000, but you're not actually understanding that I've been to uni, I've done all this work, I've done all the groundwork to get myself into a position where I'm willing to say confidently, no, this is my price.
So
If
like,
you're not happy, move on.
so like sort of medium-ish, sort of high end around this area anyway. It's
Yeah.
probably a lot more like in prime like filming it like London and stuff, for example. But like for cameramen, like around £600 a day
Yeah,
is
is the good, is
that's-
that average?
yeah.
Like, yeah, and I
because
think it should
that's
be
with
as
their
well.
own like equipment and stuff. That's
Yeah.
like,
Their
what they're
expected price.
expected. Yeah.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, 6 months down the line, if his camera breaks, who's
Yeah,
going to pay for the repairs?
exactly.
They're not going to go, oh, maybe your camera broke.
So he's obviously paying insurance and that and all that
Yeah.
shit. So he's gonna have to pay some sort of
Literally,
fee.
I remember watching this video
It's mad,
before,
yeah.
and it was basically like how you should work out your pricing if you're like,
Yeah.
if anything, like freelance.
So you've obviously
And
got
it was
your
like-
hourly rate, haven't you?
Yeah, your
And then
hourly
there's
rate, and
loads
it
of
was
shit.
like your rent. Like just
Yeah.
work out what you actually need to break neutral for the whole year, regardless of what you make before profits. Like,
yeah.
and then just work it accordingly. And I think
Freelance is a mad game.
it's a very tough industry, and I do respect anyone that can actually take it for themselves and make something of it.
Yeah.
I think for our generation though, I think it's become a lot more accessible with
Yeah.
things like socials and just the way you can actually get your name out of there.
Yeah.
Especially for any like media related stuff like drawing, art, I don't know, filming.
Well,
Anything
a lot
really.
of the times in stuff like that, a lot of the times it's just somebody who is like, oh, I'll just draw. When they're like 16 or something, they're like, oh, I'll just draw something, and then someone's
Yeah.
like, oh, I really like that.
That's
Can I buy it?
Yeah,
And they're like, oh shit, I can make money off this.
yeah. And it just
And then
gets you
they'll
going.
sell it for like 20 quid for like a year or so, and then they'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, I actually need to
Literally.
like get myself some sort of budget
Yeah,
thing.
and that's it. And it's kind of like we're both familiar with the website Fiverr,
Yeah.
where obviously you've got like different tiers of expertise. I guess you can obviously pay freelance people
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
whatever you want them to, and there's a lot of things on there. And I think like the pricing, is obviously up to you. Yeah,
Mad,
I think it's
innit?
sick though. I do think freelance is one of those industries though that is so hard, but everyone wants to do it. But then it's kind of like where do you
It's the financial freedom.
It
It's to
is.
get paid to do
what
whatever,
you want?
like what
yeah,
you want.
and it does make sense. It's just where do you find that limit before you think, oh yeah, this isn't going to work.
It's the gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, but then it's like, do you know the one photo that I always love? It's like the two miners, and it's kind of like one's going this way, one's going that way, and it's kind of like they're both like with the pickaxes, and because he's like stopped like just before he's gonna hit like the gem, and it's kind of like you should never really like have a plan B. If you're like, why would plan A ever fail?
Yeah.
I've always loved that. I've always loved that photo, because I think if you are working in those industries, like when people say, well, if it fails, what's your plan B? And it's like, why the fuck do I need one?
Yeah.
What do I need a plan B for if I feel like this is what I want to do? Like.
Yeah, exactly. If you're so confident on doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this, eventually,
it should
we
pay
do it
off.
because we love doing it, and
Exactly.
eventually something's gonna come from it. Just because like people do stuff like this for years.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
exactly. People graft and graft and graft.
fucking and like, you know, the more we do, the more stuff we're gonna think of doing.
Yeah.
And then the more you'd attract more people.
Exactly.
It's all a game.
We've always said that consistency is better.
Yeah.
Is the key to just anything. I think it's for anything. Like, I think you can get to a certain point where you're, I don't know, either your priorities change or just something else comes up and you think, oh, maybe I'd actually like to do that. But I'd like to get to a point where, I don't know, I feel like you can just tick things off. Like, you know, people just have those mad career changes. I've always thought that's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, say someone's like, I don't even know, like an example where someone just had a complete, and they've just got to a point where they feel like they've done everything in that field, and then they'll just switch up. I'm trying to think of like like a famous person that's done something like that.
I don't know. A lot of the time though, so like celebrities and stuff, like actors and stuff like that, because they have so much free time, obviously they go through films, then they're at downtime. Like, what the fuck do they do? So like a lot of times you end up seeing them like being really good at something else, like Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Free time, he's a DJ.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's making money from that.
And like Virgil Abloh as well, kind of falls into that category where he started as like a graphic designer. Yeah. Next thing you know, makes a brand, and then he was doing DJing. Yeah. It's
like people have these like the things that they do because they like doing it, and then, but it only lasts a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get a massive chunk of money doing like working on a fucking oil rig somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you come home and you're like, fuck, I got all this money, what do I do? And then you put it into something like productive.
Oh, yeah, and do you know what? Now you mentioned the oil rig, it's actually quite weird. So when we were travelling, we met this Canadian guy, and he worked on an oil rig, but he said he was out for like 12, I think it was like 12 weeks, like at a time, like so like 3 months. And then he'd come home and he had all this money, and then he'd either go travelling for a bit. So we met him in Thailand. Yeah, I think it was in Thailand. And then he said when he went home, that he was just going to set up like this wellness spa. So he was like setting up like this fitness centre, and he was like, I just felt like I've always wanted to do it.
So
I was thinking, that's just so weird, isn't it?
But it's like, because he grafted on that oil rig, I bet that's fucking solid to do. Like.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I remember because obviously he was in Canada. He showed me this one photo, and he had a genuine fucking icicle. I'm not even joking. It was probably down to his like cheek, just off his eyelash, where it was so cold. I think that's mad.
My brother lived in Australia for a year, like this was years ago. And he said, like he lived in Melbourne for a bit, and he said when you'd go around, like just walk around the city or whatever, you'd see like these really like young kids, like 19, 20, driving around in like Lamborghinis and stuff, because they go off to like a 3-month stint on a fucking
oil rig.
And just either rent a Lamborghini because they just have so much money, and they pay so much for the oil rigs.
It's kind of like when people were kind of our age and they used to join the army and stuff. Because you're just so away from home and you haven't got any means to spend it. It's like when you come home, you've actually got a substantial amount of money just sat there in your bank. I don't know. I do think it's quite sick though.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Elon Musk, because obviously he started doing like PayPal, didn't he, originally? And then next thing you know, my man's fucking trying to get us on Mars.
Yeah. So, I saw a thing about him.
Was it about living in glass houses?
No, he did. Obviously, he did another launch. SpaceX did another launch, didn't they, recently?
Yeah.
And then, so I think NASA are now working with him. So it's not just independent. And NASA came out and were like, oh yeah, this opens up a new
like opportunity
working with independent businesses and stuff. And I was like, wow, NASA never did that before.
No,
that's crazy.
Weird. Yeah, they're quite a sheltered community.
You'd think like something as big as that, if somebody had better technology or like was doing it at such a rapid pace, they'd be like, oh,
collaborate with them.
let's work with them.
But then at the same time, I think if you're a conspiracy head, you'll also be against NASA.
Oh yeah,
All those people that say NASA's a big like they've got all these mad plans and they've changed the size of the Earth and stuff like this, all the scales of the maps.
Well, I can't say I've heard any of
that.
No.
I will find some, but yeah, that's when they actually forgot. Conspiracy app has to be done.
Yeah, so
to get around to it.
We'll do one as a finale for this season.
All right, I think we'll break it into. We'll probably do the last 2 eps. I think we can break it out into a solid.
We might
eps.
just have to do a series on it.
Yeah.
Like just a separate series. So like do these apps.
Next ep.
And then like just a completely different series
adjacent to it.
Yeah.
I'm down. I am down. But yes. So yeah, I was saying to Spud, I haven't really covered a lot of like fashion related content.
Yeah, it's been a while to be fair.
So we did kind of do a little bit of update and like the previous episodes, but kind of just nothing really happened or nothing that I thought we could actually talk about. But one thing that has happened recently is Supreme, which, as you might know, probably the leading like streetwear brand in the world. They recently have been bought out by VF Corp, which are the owners of the North Face, Timberland, and I believe Vans.
Who?
So VF Corp are the ones that own North Face. So obviously like this mad like conglomerate like company that have just they bought them out. So they bought them out for.
How does a company like that come about?
What? Just how do you
does
acquire all those brands?
So is it that one company that is like, okay, we're going to start another branch of clothes and we're going to call it North Face?
I don't know. So
like
I think,
does the North Face come out
brand.
and they're like, okay, we'll have a share in that. We'll buy out a share.
So they're kind of like, I think it's actually called like private equity, I think is the actual term for it. But yeah, they're basically just an investor that'll just, if North Face get to a substantial point where they feel like they can help things like distribution, like basically just like improving like the supply chain.
Yeah.
So whether they're like handling distribution, like manufacturing, sales, like marketing, anything like that, if they feel like they can actually provide a service, so it's kind of like a Dragon's Den. They're kind of like a bigger scale of like a Dragon's Den. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Fuck, I'm like peas.
But yeah, so they currently already own Vans, North Face, and Timberland, which Supreme have all collaborated with in the past anyway. So as a business deal, I think it made a lot of sense. So they only brought the 50% share that the Carlyle Group, which they bought, like Carlyle Group, I think bought that just after the Louis Vuitton collab, I think, which was in like what 2017.
So there's one called Carlyle Group who own 50%.
They did own.
Supreme.
So yeah. So and then obviously like James Jebbia, which is like the founder, and then like obviously a couple other people have got shares. And then I think Carlyle Group owned 50%, and then VH Corp are the ones that just cashed them out. So they bought them out for 1.5 billion.
Fuck.
So yeah, I think at the minute, Supreme are turning over annually about $500 million a year. Obviously, predominantly online sales, because their business structure is quite sick. I actually really enjoy it, and I don't think they're planning on changing it. Like I think they've openly said that we're not planning on changing any structural things to how you're like doing the releases. Obviously, like just doing it per season, once a week online, and then obviously the in-store drops. But yeah, I think I mean, the way the streetwear is growing at the minute,
it's mad. Yeah, we've covered it quite a bit on to be fair, because it's just boom.
Yeah, it
just boom.
It literally is. Like we've always been we've always kind of had our own little sides of like style, but we've always paid a lot of attention to it. I think it relates a lot to like the music that you listen to, like what your friends are kind of like into. And I always feel like it's very personal. Like I always think like style and whatever is like a personal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big deal. I think they projected that it can go up to something like 5 times what they're already turning over now annually.
So then, with this VF Corp now, so they own 50%. So I imagine like whoever the owner, like who's the owner of Supreme? What did you say?
James Jebbia.
And then like obviously he owns a certain percentage, and then like a few other people own like little percentages.
It might be like, yeah.
So then, like, I don't know if this is, I have no idea,
Wow.
but like, because VF Corp are like, they must be like the majority owner now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
can they just make decisions on what happens?
Yeah, and I think James Jebbia has already said that he's very much going to be involved in the brand, and I think
Yeah.
that's where sometimes brands get washed out, and like when you get an investor that holds such a dominant stake,
Yeah.
like either the original like founder or just someone that was like heavily involved either takes a step back, and that's when it kind of gets ruined.
Yeah.
So it's very important, like for a brand, I think, if you're gonna
Especially a brand, especially like Supreme, like
Yeah.
that is entirely,
It was born on a skate. It was
Yeah.
basically a skate shop that blew up.
and it has like a hardcore fan base.
Yeah. But
Like
the-
if things start getting more commercial, surely it'll just
it'll
go down
just
the
get
pan.
washed out, and that's what they kind of that's what a lot of like speculation was kind of about. It was kind of like, is it going to be easier now, like getting all the pieces? Like, are they going to essentially have more stock?
Yeah.
Is it going to be like easier to get? Like, is it going to be more like accessible in like other shops?
Yeah.
Like, are you going to start seeing it like in like Selfridges or just something like that?
Yeah.
But I think the way like Supreme's built its name anyway, and how big it's got, like just purely just off those niche little select items dropping each week.
Yeah.
I think they'd be silly to change it, and if they did, I think that's when you'll start to see the slow decline of it. Like a lot of the older people that have been into it for years and years and years are kind of like, they've kind of just washed their hands with it now.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, I'm glad I kind of sold all my the stuff that I've been collecting for a few years now.
Like, yeah, because the reason they were so big is because it was so exclusive and everybody
Yeah.
wanted to get their hands on it, but they only did a certain amount.
Exactly, and that's when like obviously the reselling prices went through the roof.
Yeah.
And then obviously now that streetwear is booming, it's obviously one of the leading, like I said, like the leading streetwear brands. So a lot of like the younger kids now are trying so hard to get it that it's kind of like all the older heads are kind of like, nah, it's not going in a direction that I kind of agree with.
But it is, yeah, unless like, do you remember this, who did the documentary? Was it Vice? They did a documentary on like on reselling,
Yeah.
and like people just have careers
Oh, yeah.
strictly from reselling.
Oh yeah, personal shoppers and
Bizarre.
resellers, mate. There's so much. So basically, a lot of even like people in London now have stopped like drug dealing and stuff because they've worked out that they can earn so much more money just reselling.
It's fucking
So like when I went to
mad.
pick up like a couple of pairs of trainers in London before, like you constantly just you get bombarded as soon as you leave the store. Like you just literally get bombarded. I'll buy this off you, and then he'll give you X amount of price in cash. But obviously they're trying to lowball you for when they do their
Yeah.
personal shopping. Mate, it's a madness.
It's such a mad game.
Yeah, and
such
do you know
a
what?
mad game.
It's one of those. It's another one of those things where it's kind of like our generation are so much more aware of other ways to make
Yeah.
money, and I find it so good. I find it so sick that people our age now are finding those different like avenues where they
Yeah.
just feel like I don't need to get this job to see like I'm a successful kind of like person.
Yeah.
It's good though. I think it has to
Fuck.
be. I think it had to be eventually bought. I think it's selfish for the older heads to say like, oh no, we need to keep it like this niche independent brand. Because I think at the end of the day, if you're going to scale up business, eventually you're going to get bought out by someone.
Yeah.
You're going to peak enough interest where your investor's just going to go, right, I'll give you, bam.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does seem a bit like
Everything has a price at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I know.
everyone just gets fed up with it. Like,
Yeah.
especially now, it's like it was a bit exciting when you first start doing it, like getting in the queues and stuff
Yeah,
to see if you can get a
100%.
fucking jumper and that. But
Yeah.
just can't fuck
It
with
just
it
gets
anymore.
boring, and like I think 3 years ago I loved it. Like I used to love it, and in like the last couple of years, just anything kind of clothes related. Now I'm kind of just finding pieces that I just find interesting myself now. I don't give a fuck if they're hyped. I don't really like
Yeah.
just certain pairs of trainers which gets annoying where you can't get them because they're hyped. But I don't know. I think like I said, like style's personal now, and yeah, I think it's very interesting. Liverpool have scored.
Up the boys.
OGs.
Oh, gee,
Is it
Johnny
OG?
Evans.
No,
Up the
Johnny
boys.
Evans, shit cunt. shit, doing it.
Up the boys.
Oh my
Wow.
days. But yeah.
Oh, what a dead goal.
Wait,
He goes,
wait, that. He's...
us.
Oh.
He
Oh,
hit
he's
him on
fit-
the slapped on the back of the head. Us.
He looks
Oh,
so confused.
dead. Oh, look at
You've
him.
had the stinker, mate.
Fuck off.
Oh, that's terrible form. That's poor.
Yeah, so shit. We
Oh,
need
well,
to.
you needed that. You needed that.
We need to do a fan zone.
Yeah.
There's so many things we need to
I
fucking
know,
do.
I know.
Fuck.
But yes, I hope you enjoyed that little brief,
Innit?
well, in-depth kind of covering of Supreme and where it's going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if none of you understand what the hell I'm on about.
No, to be fair, we've driven on a lot about business which we don't know anything about.
Yeah, we were acting like
Oh
we're
my word!
CEOs.
Oh no, I thought it was the fucking second one.
It's two.
He's had it in the nads.
Done his ammies.
He's had it in the nads.
But yes, I don't know what time we're at, because I feel like we've been...
45.
Right, okay, so I reckon we should just finish on this one, should we?
Do it was okay, yeah.
So we were chatting just before we went live of just things that your parents either told you or just things you believed as a naive, young, however old you were, as a kid, and just things you believed as a kid that someone's told you. And I feel like I've just done, you know, when you write, you know, those ones where it's like you need to write an essay of three paragraphs. I feel like I've just repeated the same thing.
Yeah, things.
So basically,
kids believe your parents believe.
So basically,
kids,
we were saying those things that you believed as a kid, where when you've grown up, you've realised they're not actually true. So I think I was driving along the other day, and I was thinking, why did I ever believe that? So it was basically, you know, when you have the car interior light on, and you've always driven past people, like when you were younger, and your mum and your dad, and they're always like, they can't do that.
Yeah,
and then
it's
you go
illegal
turn
to
yours
drive
on.
with the interior light on.
Yeah, so I've never understood it, and do you know what? Even to this day, though, I won't drive it on.
No,
I won't.
So I think the reason for it is
Distracting other people. That was always what I thought.
Yeah,
but
and also in the dark, obviously, when you've got a light on in the car, it makes
reflects.
it harder to see what's going on the outside.
Yeah, no, it is. It does make sense. I think from a logical, I don't think it's actually illegal, but I think from a logical standpoint.
Yeah, it's not illegal.
No.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd have a little Google to see of things that I could find online. So this one here. So if you swallow, it says a watermelon seed, an entire watermelon will grow inside you, which is true.
I never. Which is true. Yeah, mad. Fuck.
That is true. That does happen. So yeah, if you're a kid, don't eat the watermelon seeds, because you will grow.
You'll actually become a watermelon.
Remember when? Talking of seeds, remember pumpkin seeds? Remember that? Remember when I went through a phase of just eating spare seeds?
What?
I used to eat pumpkin seeds in photography and eggs.
Yeah, you became a bird. I remember you fucking cracking open the egg and everybody in class like, oh, it fucking stinks! Oh, fuck, what's that? And you just like under the desk, like munching on this boiled egg, and I was like, what is that?
And then pumpkin seeds to wash it down.
Bro, it actually smelt like...
It's one of those foods. A boiled egg is one of those foods that has to be enjoyed in your own home.
Boiled eggs are bum as well.
Oh, they're so peng.
Eggs are just, they're so versatile.
Yeah, do you know what? As much as I would love to try vegan, I would really struggle kicking out eggs.
Eggs and cheese.
Yeah, eggs and cheese and milk, I would struggle. So, I did see another one here.
No, you said one beforehand, and I gotta say this. And I can't believe you've never heard it before.
Yeah, this one here. Stepping on a crack could literally break your mother's back. I have never heard it.
How have you never heard that?
I've never heard it.
They on so many, like, just everywhere in life. There's jokes about it, like on TV, films where somebody's...
Yeah, but what's it in relation to? If you step on that, your mum gets spinal bifida.
No, she ain't got a spine to get spinal bifida.
What?
Yeah, it's gone, bro. It's cracked. It's broken back. Gone. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. That's it.
So what? If you step on it, it's already gone.
You break your mother's back. It's bad luck if you step on a crack.
Right.
It's like there was one
three
about
drains.
There was 3 drains, and there was one about walking under a ladder as well.
Yeah, it's like under scaffolding and a ladder.
Can't walk through like.
Yeah, but I thought that was just bad luck.
Yeah, but there was like sayings for it.
Right,
that's what it was. Like,
okay, I've never heard that. Like, stepping on the crack literally break your mother's back.
There was never literally. It was always just
I know.
Step on a crack, break your mother's back.
Yeah,
it was like bad. Like, yeah, what was this? 3 drains. walking through a ladder and the crack. I don't know if there's any more.
This one I enjoyed. Your grandparents lived in a world that was entirely black or white.
Imagine that.
It is mad to think, like, whenever you see the photos and stuff, you know,
It's
when
just
people
black and
do
white.
like, they do like, what's it called, like remastering kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they kind of edit all the photos from like olden days, and they kind of bring them into like color.
Yeah.
I think it's just mad. Like, I can never picture what it would be like, though, because I generally do think it's in sepia. Like, you know, that, you know, when everything's
filter,
brown.
Yeah.
You know, when everything's just in brown, that's what I just imagine it to
Mad,
be like.
isn't it?
It's so strange.
Fucking being
It's
older.
obviously not true, though. God.
Well, like, I think of this, and then I think, so how a photo is going to get better from now
Yeah.
until when we're old, and then people are going to look at the pictures we took and
be
be like, what the fuck
What?
is that?
They looked at flat photos, and they'll go like this. They'll grab the
Yeah,
photo
and
and
it's
fucking
like-
chuck it.
They like bring a photo up from their wrist,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and you're like,
man,
whoa, look at that
literally.
hologram.
It's literally the hologram, yeah, that's what I was
What
going
do
to
you
say.
mean people just looked at their screens?
I can guarantee you, with AR and things like scanning, like AR, definitely, you'll be able to do a hologram image of wherever you have taken.
It's fucking nuts, aren't it?
I cannot wait. I pray to God that I get old and
I mean,
can
the
see
technology's
this.
there, though, isn't it? Because,
Yeah,
I mean, they did it for
100%.
Tupac, they did it
Yeah.
for bare
Kylie
people on
Jenner's
stage
fucking
and that.
Kim's dad. For
Oh, yeah.
Kanye did it for Kim Kardashian's dad the other day for her
Defo
birthday.
there. I bet the guy who fucking did that first.
Yeah,
oh,
was like, I'm a boy.
minted.
Smashed it.
Minted.
Do you know what? I haven't seen it used after that Tupac thing at Coachella.
Yeah,
I've not
no.
seen it used as much as I thought I was going to.
No, because everyone fucking blew up about it.
Yeah, everyone went mad
Yeah.
for it, and it was so sick.
Yeah.
It was so
I don't know.
sick.
Yeah, I don't. Wasn't there one for like Michael Jackson or Prince or
Maybe
something?
it could have been.
But like,
There
yeah,
could
they've
have
only
been
done
so many like real life situations where they could have used it
Yeah.
as like filling in. I don't know. I do think though you have summed it up perfectly. Like, kids are gonna look back at our photos, and like, do you know what? Right, I used the iPhone 12 the other day. Like, my friends got it,
Oh yeah.
and I zoomed in, and the camera on it is so dirty. It's
Yeah.
not as good as like, what was that camera? It was the phone. It was either Huawei or. And it was basically had that fucking. It was the Samsung. It had that like mad like telescopic
Telephoto
loop.
lens.
Yeah, it had like that mad. And the advert was the guy
Yeah.
zooming into the hot air balloon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was sick though. I've not used the phone in a long while where I've actually gone shit. The camera's actually quite sick. But it seems
The thing
like,
is now though, like every single phone takes a class photo now.
yeah,
Like especially a phone, like a photo that you going to take on your phone.
yeah,
Like you don't expect it to be like
Uh,
ridiculously good, but it is.
yeah, literally.
And it's like you see people like Billie Eilish's new video was filmed on an iPhone, wasn't it?
iPhone, yeah. But you know what? You
So
know when
was Selena Gomez, all their videos were done on
Do you know some of those things though? You know where they're like, oh, this was purely filmed on like, you know, all like the Apple campaigns
Yeah,
and stuff. And it's
yeah,
like shot on iPhone, and then you actually see like the behind the scenes, and they've got like these mad lenses like attached to the actual
Yeah.
fucking lens. I'm like, come on, at least if you're gonna do it, at
Do
least
it,
just
yeah.
use the native camera, like. But I do think technology is going to be a madness.
Yeah,
In
I
some-
struggle to see where phones are going to go because I really don't think fold-out phones are going to be a thing.
Nah, do you know what?
I think
thought
like a screen at the minute, like just
that
a
is the-
screen is
yeah.
like
it's literally all you need.
Should-
It's,
Oh.
not again.
oh,
Camera's
I'm
gone.
running it. I'm running it.
We're running it.
Yeah, I do feel like
Camera just got brucker.
I do feel like phones now are just so because it's the most simplistic thing. Like it's just nice.
It's just straight in your hand. There's literally ease of access. You haven't got to flip it up. Like, flip phones were a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then everyone realised it's too long. Like, everyone
Yeah.
gets lazier as they get older, or as generations have changed. It's like slide up phones,
Yeah.
like flip phones.
Ones that used to like spin outside. Like
yeah, some
rolling
phones.
ones.
Yeah, it used to be so good.
I suppose it'd be different for like what people want to use it for.
Yeah,
That's the best way to
Yeah.
put it in it.
I think there will be a market for them. I don't think they'll be as accepted as a lot of like companies are hoping for and
Yeah.
guessing. So, like,
You never know, do you? Like shit happens and then a trend happens and everyone
Yeah.
wants one and then it dies.
it's kind of like a similar situation when iPhone 4s were out and everyone was like, oh, I want a smaller phone, and then they brought a bigger phone out and everyone's like, that's minging.
Yeah.
And then now I'm kind of like, I would happily just wedge an iPad into my pocket. Like,
No, I like the fact that they did a mini, a 12 mini, because I think like I am getting a bit fucking fed up of carrying a cinema screen around.
Yeah,
like
I do feel you.
Like little phones just going, like people want to carry less and less shit now because like nobody takes cash anymore because nobody wants to hand over shit because of COVID.
Yeah.
Like you just want to take it. Like so you got a card. People have like tiny little
the less things you
slot. You just go bam bam bam, and if they got another one with like a phone slot and then your cards, like it's just carry that around with you.
Literally.
Obviously, fucking houses and shit are just going to be cards and that eventually.
Yeah.
Like
it is. It does seem like everything's going to. I think that's where like technology will just advance over the years.
Yeah.
I just really hope that this isn't like my pinnacle of understanding technology. Do you know what I was thinking?
Like parents looking like, how do I do that?
And do you know what? I was getting to this stage the other day when I loaded up fucking Microsoft Excel, and I was like, rats. I used to be alright at using it.
VLOOKUPs.
Oh, do you know what?
Trust.
And I feel like for things. I think if there's technology that you pay attention to and you do like find interesting, then you'll never stray too far away. But yeah, there's definitely technology out there that I've been meaning to try for a long while, like VR headsets. I still haven't really tried one.
They're good, but like
there's no real. Yeah. You're not going to use them constantly.
It's not a competition between that going online with the mandate.
No, I do feel you. But then if as things progress, you never know. You never ever know. I do think it's sick though. Technology has always been something that we're both kind of interested in. Yeah. Hence why we're here with 2 mics, a laptop, and on a poddy, doing a podcast.
2 budget mics.
But yes, I think that is all I kind of really have to say, if I'm honest.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I'm happy. If you have got this far, let us know if you would like us to upload as the full episode, or if you would like to kind of segment it into 3 parts. I kind of think we could probably break it into. So yeah,
well, we could do it all. We could put the whole app if people want to watch the whole app and just break it up and just...
Yeah, I think we're gonna start doing that because we've been talking. But yeah, that's for us and not for you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, fuck you. Bye.
But yeah,
50B. Fuck you. Bye.
Bye. But yes, I've been Tom.
I've been Spud.
Get out of here, man.
Yep.
Right, let me sort this.